Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand, the first proper exciting transfer daily of the transfer window so far. It's not even bloody open, but I say exciting. We love them all, but there's some real excitement here today. Get your latest Manchester United transfer news on the United Stand Transfer Daily every morning, giving that real fan opinion. And we're going to start, Koulibaly and Pepe. I'm not going to mess you about. Koulibaly and Pepe, some real credibility around those. We'll start off with Koulibaly. I don't normally use the hotometer 2 days in a row, but as you can see on my left, I am using it. And as you can see, there is a new player at the top of the hotometer. It's Koulibaly. I don't know why I'm doing all Jim White for you. Koulibaly. And it's the first time we've gone up to a 7. Bruno Fernandes has been top for the first couple of weeks. 6 out of 10, 60% chance of signing him. Koulibaly is now top with a 7. I've even gone up to 70% on this because there is literally so much about it. I've got so many different people talking to me. A lot of people are saying, well, where are you getting it from? To be honest with you, the Koulibaly thing for me was just based on my own sort of analysis that I knew we were after him under Mourinho, and I just thought, well, it makes sense. We need a centre-back. Why would we drop the interest just because we sacked Mourinho? He's a top-class centre-back. We'd carry it on. That was my theory. I had no source on it. However, a few days ago, there's a guy on Twitter called @u_xi_Simon. Now, he was the guy last summer who revealed about Cola being on the shirt, remember the sponsor, and Delo. So he has been reliable a couple of times, and he said a few days ago there is progress with the Koulibaly deal. You've then got Evening Standard, loads of other people talking about it, and Andy Goldstein of TalkSport, who I have spoken to in the past, he has said that a very reliable source has told him that a Koulibaly deal is close. So it's coming in from so many different places, and that for me is the exciting part. It's coming in from lots and lots of different people. Now, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm sure you do your own thing. You maybe just follow the United Stand. So I'll say it from me. There's lots of different things I keep an eye on, and in my head I have lots of different sort of rankings of where that information is coming from. But to get it coming in from so many different people, and a lot of those people are relatively reliable, means to me there is definitely something going on with Manchester United and Kalidou Koulibaly. I think the stumbling block may be the price. It doesn't mean it's going to get done. The price will be the factor. Napoli don't want to sell. Ancelotti doesn't want to sell him. United want him. Koulibaly, does he want to go? And then it's about the fee. But interestingly, anybody who thinks this deal is going to be done anytime soon, I must just say to you, there are still 2 league games to be played in Serie A, the last of which I think is the 26th of May, which is still, just under 2 weeks away. So I don't think it will happen until any time before the end of the month, and maybe not into June. So we're all excited now, but I don't think there's going to be an immediate, yes, he's signed. It could rumble on for a bit, but it's looking very, very, very positive around Koulibaly. Nicolas Pepe at Lille, we mentioned him last week. I mean, he's an obvious candidate for the right-hand side issue that Manchester United have. He is a very good candidate in relation to his age, 23. He obviously moving from Lille to anywhere, whether it's Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, PSG, it's a step up. It's the next step for him. Hungry, young, talented player, exactly what United should be looking at. And United yesterday, a lot of talk about Pepe. Duncan Castles mentioned him as well on his podcast. Now he's somebody who has mixed. Sometimes he's very reliable, sometimes not. A lot of people associate him with Mourinho though, so whether he's going to have a good transfer window this summer or not is interesting. I don't know how much weight to put on that, but certainly, again, coming in from a different sources. I'm not as confident about Pepe as I am about Koulibaly. Pepe's not even on my hotometer at the moment. I'm not even going to put him on there. I'm not confident this deal's going to get done, but it's encouraging for the first few steps. I don't think the credibility is there with Pepe to Manchester United yet. I think it's just noise. But with Koulibaly, there's just so much noise from so many different people. I think that there is something going on there. But Pepe would be a good signing for Manchester United. Brilliant goals record for somebody who's predominantly played off the wing. Talented, quick, skillful, exactly what Manchester United would need. Let's talk about Cavani. There's a clip of me somewhere from FIFA. I was trying to find it yesterday, actually. I use the F word and go, effing Cavani. Had to be Cavani. I've never been a fan of Cavani. I don't rate Cavani. I don't know why. Sometimes in life, that when there is a good footballer, we've all got one that we just don't like, even though everyone says he's really good. You go, no, just don't like him. And Cavani's that player for me. But United, I can't remember where this story was. One of you probably will know. It was along the lines of Conte's going to Inter Milan Inter Milan would like to sign Lukaku, but it's all dependent on Manchester United bringing in a replacement, and Cavani was mentioned as part of that. Cavani is 32 and a half, so why... I do not agree with Manchester United going in for Cavani on many levels because of his age, and we did this with Zlatan. Great, you get a top class striker for a year, but it's paper in the cracks because there's no long termism in it. And I suppose you could say, well, you get Cavani in and then you develop Rashford and Martial and they come and replace, but Rashford and Martial are not at that age where they need a 32-and-a-half-year-old striker taking their places. Rashford and Martial are either ready now or they're not. They don't need another Zlatan to be there to sort of coach them. So Cavani doesn't make a lot of sense to me. On the other hand, though, I did think he probably would score a lot of goals in the Premier League as a number 9. And he could probably do it for a couple of years. But for me... he's got 1 year left on his contract, which makes it interesting as well. So you'd imagine you could probably get him for about 30 million, I would imagine. So it's an interesting one. I mention it because I want to mention everything that we sort of come across that's worthy. And I wanted to just get your thoughts. 32-and-a-half-year-old Cavani, would you take him at United? I certainly think if you dropped him into our team in August, he'd probably score quite a few goals. But what does that mean for Rashford? What does that mean for Martial? They need to be playing now, or are they not good enough? So gives you thoughts on that one. Sticking with Paris, Rabiot was a player that came out a lot yesterday as well around Manchester United. I'm a big fan of Rabiot. I'm just worried. He's only just 24. There's talk that Manchester United are weighing up a move for Rabiot. That was the headline, and that's why I looked down just to make sure I got that right. Why the hell are we weighing up signings in May when the transfer window is about to open? We should be at the checkout, not weighing them up. It's not like we're weighing up our carrots, 20 metres away from the checkout. We should be weighed up and at the counter trying to buy these players. We shouldn't be weighing anything up, and this is why we need a director of football. We've had 5 bloody months to be weighing up our candidates. We should not be doing that. But Rabiot's going to be a very rich guy because he's out of contract with PSG, and he's going to be a good signing. I do not think we'll get him. I don't think we'll get Rabiot because I think he will go somewhere where there's Champions League football. I think Juventus are probably a very good option for him because they like to get these players for nothing. They've done it with Aaron Ramsey. And I don't think United will be what he fancies, to be honest with you. I think Rabiot comes with a bit of attitude as well, which can be a good thing and can be a bad thing. I just don't see him coming to Manchester United. I think it would be a very good signing if he did because of his age, because of his talent, because of where he plays, and because he's free. You can't say no to it. You can't say no just because he's got a bit of an attitude, because you're basically paying nothing for him, so it's worth the risk. But I don't think so. I think I think this is one of many stories we'll have through the summer where United get mentioned because United generate interest. But I don't really think we're in the equation. I think maybe we'd like to be in the equation, but I just don't think we are. I think there'll be better clubs who can give him Champions League football and probably offer him titles, really. And I don't think he'll fancy United, if I'm totally honest with you. I think maybe if Pogba was in a happier place and Pogba was going to stay at the club, then maybe that would be a draw for him. But as I said, I don't think Pogba's going to stay either. So I don't see what the lure of Manchester United would be for Rabiot when he's got so many options because he's free. Talking about midfielders, though, Tielemans. Let me just mention Yuri Tielemans. I think he's a good option. Again, I'm not convinced we're going to get the deal done with Monaco for Yuri Tielemans. And there were some reports yesterday that Leicester are desperately trying to get that deal done very quickly because they're concerned about interest from Spurs and Manchester United. Tielemans would be a very, very good signing for United. I think it would have been a risk before. He's a player that as I've said, we've mentioned Tielemans lots of times before, when he was at Anderlecht especially. But the thing about him now is he's Premier League proven. He's proven that he can do it in the Premier League, and he's done it at a team like Leicester. So I think there will be interest. I can see him in a Spurs shirt. I really can. I'd love to see him in a Manchester United shirt. I think he's exactly, again, when you talk about Nicolas Pepe, very different positions, but similar age, similar career trajectory. They're hungry, they move to a bigger club, they improve, they develop, they become two of the best players in the world. Potentially, that's the path that you want them to do. That's what United are looking for. I know you're all laughing at me saying, we're going to buy all these players, they're going to be the best players in the world, but that's what United are meant to do. That's what we try to do. We buy players who aren't yet the best players in the world, and we get them here, they're hungry, and they develop. You look at the Rooneys, you look at the Ronaldos, they're examples of where it's worked. Martial was meant to go that way as well. So that's what we're trying to do here, and hopefully we can do it, because it's a very, very important summer for Manchester United. And I suppose the interesting thing about Koulibaly, just to go back with it as well, is that I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited about this. I nearly said if you've joined us late, but how can you join us late when we're not actually live? But yeah, I mean, that is the thing I sort of alluded to last night. I needed to do a little bit of clarity, a little bit of homework on it, because with Koulibaly, as you know, my reasoning going into this last few weeks that we'd signed Koulibaly, and the reason I've mentioned him so much is because it was common knowledge that Mourinho was after him, and I think he was going to come in January. As I said on the video yesterday, Mourinho gets the sack, and I think Woodward has just said, well, let's not scrap everything Mourinho was looking at. What this deal, we've done some work on it. What do we think? And I think any manager, whether it's Solskjaer or whoever, would say, well, yeah, we can still do that deal. He's a very good player. So I think United have kept it ticking along. And then, like I say, over the last few days, you've got some really credible sources talking about it. And many different sources talking about it. And that, to me, when you're looking at likelihoods of transfers, is where it gets exciting, when there's lots of different things talking about it. Because the way it works in the UK, like with Pepe, you've got the Daily Mirror talking about it, now Duncan Castles. For me, that's still a little bit low. But with Koulibaly, you've got 3 or 4 different outlets talking about it with different levels of credibility. And then you start adding things up. You think about, well, yeah, United were after him. Evening Standard have mentioned him as well. So, yeah, I'm confident about the Koulibaly deal. That's why it's top of my hotometer. I'm not going to say it's done. If I thought it was going to be done, it'd be 9 out of 10 instead of 7. But it's moving in the right direction. And I hope over the next few weeks that Koulibaly does get up to nearly a 9. And then we are signing him, because what a signing he would be. And then it feeds, interestingly, you're not going to get Koulibaly for anything less than 80 million. If we're only spending 200 million, you've only got 120 million left. So where's your 2 midfielders? Where's your right winger? Are we going to go north of 200 million? Gets very interesting then. That's the interesting thing about if we did sign Koulibaly, is he is going to cost north of 80 million, which is going to use up a lot of money. So how much are we going to spend? Which is exciting, because we know we need 2 midfielders. We know we need a right winger. Potentially a right back. So you're not going to get all of that for 120 million. So that would mean over 200. Of course, if Pogba's sold, then it makes a difference, doesn't it? But anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Please do smash a like on the video. Remember, today I'm at Old Trafford playing, living the dream. Absolutely can't wait. So excited, and want to share it with you as well. We've just lost my video. For some reason, you've just lost me. That's never happened before. We don't know why. We'll just go to an empty chair. Please do drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Get your thoughts in below on Koulibaly, Cavani, Pepe. I've knocked him up the hotometer. You can look at that for the moment. I've knocked him up on the hotometer. Do you think we're going to get him? Would you have Cavani? What about Pepe? What about Rabiot? And as I said, you can follow me on Instagram at GoldbridgeMark, or you can follow me on Twitter at Mark Goldbridge. I'll be giving you updates throughout the day on the Old Trafford lark. So thanks everyone for watching. See you soon.